Hey guys, Scare9 here, and welcome back to my channel today. In this video, we are once again going to be diving into the lore surrounding Destiny 2. Specifically, today I wanted to go ahead and take a look at the Failsafe AI, the effect that SIVA has had on her, and the potential link between all of this and the second DLC for Destiny 2. Now, in the recent months, there's been a lot of talk and speculation regarding the Exodus Black ship on Nessus, but almost none of it has been focused on the sole survivor of the ship, the Failsafe AI. Now, I think the best place to start off for this theory would be to give some basic background information on who Failsafe is. Now, I believe Failsafe to be the point of view character for the Grimoire card Ghost Fragment Old Russia 4. So it appears that previously the community has believed that the character speaking in Old Russia 4 was actually Rasputin's submine Malahayati. But I strongly disagree with this assumption. In the Grimoire card Old Russia 3, we see that yesterday Lanshu spoke to a colony ship AI and it called Rasputin the Tyrant. This is actually extremely important to my theory because in the Old Russia 4 card we can see an AI use this exact expression. So essentially, in my opinion, it is pretty obvious that Malahayati and the AI who refer to Rasputin as the Tyrant are two completely different AI. But it just refers to the other one as some random AI. If this was supposed to reference the same one, it would have directly said that. So now we know that there is an AI on one of these random colony ships that refers to Rasputin as the Tyrant, and this seems to be a sole incident, which means it is probably the same AI as in the Old Russia 4 card. This also makes sense from a writer's perspective. If you're going to write something in the Grimoire card Old Russia 3, you're not going to write something in Old Russia 4 that completely contradicts it. Instead, you're going to make this tidbit of information lead into something even bigger in the lore. So I do believe that the AI in Old Russia 4 is not Malahayati, and I do believe it to be the same AI that the submine referred to in Old Russia 3. And the most likely conclusion for me is that this AI is Failsafe from Destiny 2. Now, to go even further into it, the AI in Old Russia 4 was part of the Exodus project in which nanoparticles of SIVA were put on a ship and sent to aid in the construction of something. We don't know where and we don't know when. It is approximately 9 billion miles away, which is obviously quite a long distance away. Based on all of the context in these Grimoire cards, it appears that the SIVA was actually put on the ship by Rasputin himself, or he ordered it rather, and then it seems that this ship is actually the Exodus Black ship, which has the Failsafe as the main AI for the ship. So what I believe happened is that at some point in its 9 billion mile journey, this ship crash landed on Nessus. Just to give you guys some sense of scale, this means that it didn't even make it halfway to its destination. Basically, to sum up this first part, there was a Golden Age ship that was launched into space containing SIVA and an AI. This ship was part of the Exodus program, which we can see from the Old Russia 3 card, and using all of that information, we can see that it perfectly fits the description for the Exodus Black ship on Nessus in Destiny 2. So all of this information gives us what I believe to be the basic backstory for the Exodus Black ship on Nessus, the Failsafe on Nessus, how SIVA got to Nessus in the first place, and the basis of Failsafe's relationship with Rasputin. We know she refers to him as the Tyrant, and she has some level of affection and respect for him as much as an AI is able to feel. So with all of that information laid out, we can get into the second part of this theory. So the next big part of this is that it seems that Failsafe has been partially corrupted or affected in some negative way by the SIVA on Exodus Black. In the Old Russia 4 Grimoire card, there are clear attempts by SIVA to damage Failsafe in some way. She directly says, quote, "I can feel the mites buzzing, pushing against my submind. They try to steal fragments of my memory, but I do not let them." She also demonstrates that she has some sort of ability to hold them back or put them in temporary stasis when she says, quote, "I exert electronic will, pushing, shaping, forcing stasis in perpetual motion. They are quiet then, but I can still sense them." So based on this here, we know that they have been trying to get at her. Now, it is important to note that this isn't SIVA's end goal. She says here that they just want to be, whatever that means, but essentially this is just a byproduct of them being on the ship. They're always moving, they're going around, and it can be damaging to her in some form or fashion. It is even possible here that the SIVA is just digging around in different systems trying to find some sort of instruction or directive. But we see that she is able to stop them to some extent in a controlled environment. She is able to put them in stasis. But what would happen if the environment was no longer controllable? So if partway through the journey, the Exodus Black ship did crash on Nessus, what would happen? the SIVA mites would be unleashed. They would no longer be in a controlled environment. They would be all over the place. Then would she be able to stop them from getting into her memories and messing with her core programs? Or would they be able to access these things during the crash event? Well, I believe that the SIVA was able to damage her to some extent. During the inverted spire strike, there are seemingly two different versions of Failsafe that can be heard. The first is a friendly AI that gives very robotic-like instructions. She's always giving statistical analysis, that kind of stuff that you would expect a robot-like version to do. But the second version is completely different in voice and attitude. It's more human-like. It makes more snarky comments and seems to have very few robotic qualities, and she seems to be acting more like a human. So these personalities alternate between different playthroughs of the inverted spire strike. Here's a direct example of two alternating quotes she might say during your playthroughs. These are two of the options she can say after you finally defeat Protheon.
It's not getting up from that. Zavala, we're good.
Well done. Failsafe, what's your assessment of this incident?
Vex records indicate the Cabal discovered the mine and dug into this world to capture it. Had the Red Legion achieved their goal, I estimate a 60% chance this planetoid would have been destroyed in the ensuing battles.
Hey, Failsafe.
Yes, friendly ghost?
We did it. We did a great job. Admit it.
Technically, the captain did. You live in his backpack.
Switch off.
So very clearly, there are at least two different personalities here at play, and I believe that this will relate all the way back to SIVA. Bungie has a history of experimenting with this type of behavior from their AI characters in previous franchises. In both Halo and Marathon, there's an idea of aging or corrupting an AI, which they refer to as rampancy. Most notably, you guys would probably know this from Halo 4 with Cortana, where she goes absolutely insane. And this type of thing, it does happen to her as well. Most notably, she does have a voice change, but also she starts to go crazy, gets more snarky, that kind of thing. That does not seem to be happening in this instance. So I think it is safe to say that Bungie would be comfortable with putting a similar idea within the Destiny universe. There's a lot of similarities between the Halo universe and the Destiny universe already, and this is just something like that they could carry over but change a little bit for the Destiny games. Now, I believe that the main catalyst for this would be the SIVA nanites messing with Failsafe in some way, but to what extent? She does appear to have the majority of her higher functions during the strikes, but as we saw earlier, she does have split personalities. So based on that, we know she's been negatively affected in some way. It's not guaranteed to have been from the SIVA, but because they gave us that line in Old Russia 4 where she can feel the SIVA messing with her memories, it makes the most sense to me. So I guess the only questions that remain now is how will this affect the story in Destiny 2? Will it grow worse over time? And will the SIVA nanites continue to have negative effects on Failsafe? These are all things that we currently don't have the answer to, but I'm willing to bet that we will find out during the second expansion of Destiny 2. We know that it is centered around Rasputin, as the banner for this expansion is his logo, and we also know that Bungie is currently putting ideas like the Darkness on the back burner to focus on ideas that they have already fully formed and they are confident can provide a better, more fleshed out storyline. So what better way for them to do this than to take the fairly recent storyline of SIVA and to tie it in with one of the most mysterious figures in Destiny, Rasputin. By using Failsafe, her damaged personalities, her relationship with Rasputin, and the origins of SIVA on Black Exodus, they have a perfect setup for what should now be a great DLC centered around Nessus. So that's pretty much the entirety of this theory. I do believe that Failsafe has been damaged to some extent by SIVA, and I do believe that her relationship with Rasputin will lead into the second DLC. But let me know what you guys think. Do you agree with all of this? Do you disagree with certain points with all of my points? I'm really interested in discussing this. So if you have any opinions at all on this, let me know down in the comment section below and let's get a discussion started. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, a like rating would be very appreciated. If you are brand new to my channel, make sure to subscribe for more awesome Destiny theories and videos. Thank you guys so much for watching today, and I will see you in my next video.